Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What is going on, everybody? XRP. You know what? The SEC is not happy with Ripple, but I'm sure Ripple's not happy with the SEC. Now, is this all due to incompetence or is it a planned attack against the crypto space? And then is XRP bigger than XLM? I don't know if we're smart enough to determine that, but there is one guy out there in the community in this space that just might be.
This might be. You ready? Let's get this started. Let's get it started. Let's go.
Go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
On the chain, Jeff, as people... Well, before we go any further, you know what to do. Subscribe if you want more XRP, SEC, LMNOP type content. You want more blockchain-related content. Yes. Click that like button, click the subscribe, and the notification bell. That way you're notified anytime we go live, which is 3 times a week at the moment. There you go. Bling, bling, bling. You can make the sound effects. And guys, drop where you're from. I want the city, I want the country, and I want your favorite food. Like, what is your country known for?
That's your favorite. Your favorite food. Your comfort food. If you were traveling and you had to be away from your food, what is your go-to comfort food?
Or you can put your kid comfort food like mac and cheese, for example. Mac and cheese is always a good one.
Yeah, like key lime pie or mint chocolate chip ice cream.
No,
that's more dessert-ish.
Not my go-to though.
See if anybody can guess. See if anyone can guess our favorite foods. That'll be a good one. What is our go-to comfort food? Chip, Jeff.
Yeah, we can put those out there. I'm sure those are going to be interesting, Jeff. Those might be really interesting to take a look at. And what those might look like, and those might be. But right there you go. Yep. We're commanding. Smash those likes. It's our own thing.
Smashy.
You know what I mean?
All right. All right, they're coming in fast and furious. Mark says ice cream.
Well, Jeff, you kind of gave it away.
Oh, but that's maybe his favorite food is ice cream.
Oh, that's what his is.
Chips and dip. All right, what do you want to start with? Should we dive right into SEC, XRP related stuff? Or do you want to talk a little bit about the XLM and XRP? Or do you want to get into some more...
I was thinking we'd actually start with this. Yeah, I think let's start with this story right here because this is a pretty good one too. But ex-SEC attorney shares reason why XRP should be treated like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And quite honestly, a lot of digital assets should be treated the same, but we know the special treatment. And I really think when it comes down to it, Jeff, is it really just Bitcoin? Because Ethereum seems like it's kind of on the wall. It's not on the outs completely, but I don't think it's in the good graces anymore. It seems like it's kind of fallen out of favor with the SEC. I'm talking about.
Which one, Ethereum or Bitcoin?
Yeah, Ethereum. But Bitcoin's like, listen, you're not gonna chase down Nakamoto. You're just not. It's not gonna be. You're not gonna find him. So they just like, well, that's
not gonna happen.
It's not a security. But mining pools could be though. It could be an actual security. So anyway, there you go right there. Like what could be more impressive than putting a Ripple logo in the middle and then flanking it on the left and right side with the SEC. By the SEC.
Now, you know what we should have there? You have the former SEC employees, chair, commissioners, etc., right, that are on the team with Ripple against the current SEC. Now that's a nice cage match if you think about it.
Cage match.
Former SEC versus current SEC. Who comes out on top?
They are. Nobody really cares, really. I mean, I'll be honest with you. So, a former attorney for the U.S. For the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, better known as the SEC, John Barry basically came out and said that Ripple's digital token XRP is similar to the largest two cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, it's not really suited for the Howey test. But the Howey test, I don't think anything's really suited for it. Is it, Jeff? I mean, kind of we keep talking about this.
I like talking about the Howey test, especially over orange juice.
Yeah, a little bit of orange juice, maybe a little splash of lime, maybe a little bit of lemon in there.
little bit
And
of
the
lemon, little
SEC,
dash of lemon. Nice.
yeah, so this ex-SEC attorney made the argument, recently surfaced video clip on YouTube. In his comments, he said that XRP possesses some similarities with Bitcoin and Ethereum. He also spotted the differences between the three digital assets, citing that all three do not fit for the Howey test. Therefore, John Barry implies that XRP is not a security, as opposed to the claims by the SEC, which led the ongoing XRP lawsuit that they filed
That's
against Ripple.
it's one more. Chalk it up in the cage match. There we
And
go.
then
It's getting really heavily weighted on the side of Ripple at this point.
well, see, this is so, I have to tell you this. I put this tweet out yesterday. I think we have to get John Deaton back on her because there's something that I think we need to work. And I want to see if John will come back on, because this is like the way they talk about it here. Speaking of the Howey test, Investopedia describes it as the United States Supreme Court case for determining whether a transaction qualifies as an investment contract and therefore be considered a security, subject to disclosure registration requirements under the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. But Jeff, we've brought this up, the whole idea in light of this latest Supreme Court ruling, where you had Virginia versus the EPA. They were saying like, well, the EPA just can't come out and can't make stuff happen.
It's another good one. Yeah, we've had multiple good Supreme Court.
So yeah, and then the other one, the Roe v. Wade, which they basically came out and said, look, it's not in the Constitution. There's no law in the book. There's nothing that's, so we have to kick it back to the states. So let's go on that premise, Jeff. If that were the case, then in 1973, they kind of corrected what had happened at that Supreme Court ruling when Roe v. Wade basically came out. They ruled on it. So they were basically making, instead of interpreting the law and making a ruling, there was no present law, but they made a ruling anyway. Very similar to the Howey test. The Howey test is a Supreme Court case. It's not legislation. How is the Howey test Jeff, the Howey test? I keep going on about this.
It would be great. I think it'd be perfect to have Deaton on so we can hash that out, really dig into it, because I think it's, could be a really solid point, especially considering what we're seeing, the direction of the Supreme Court, pushing things back to the state, overruling on the EPA. And it really, it's good to see, because we have to remember, that this is, a country of we the people. And it is a constitutional republic, and so it's we got to remember. Sometimes people forget, and they're like, "Oh, well, the federal government decides everything," and that just isn't the case. Which is also then leads back to the problems with the executive orders. But in this case, since they set a precedent, since that was the outcome of that specific case, every case thereafter is referring back to it and referencing and saying, well, they applied this test and this is how they decided the outcome. But there was also some dissent in the Howey case.
There was,
and the dissent had some really good, points that would then be very relevant to what we're talking about with the digital assets, especially, given what the SEC is claiming about Ripple. But it seems, I always feel like, these things keep coming up over and over, and John Deaton would definitely, know the answer to that one. But how is it, another one to ask him, and I think we've asked him before, but how is it that Gary Gensler can only discuss one of the tenets of the Howey test, just one point?
That's right.
And he's not even accurate with it, because he keeps referencing if people have this idea that they're going to generate some sort of profit from it, then obviously it's a security, but it's profit from the efforts of others, which is the full read of it. So it could be interesting. A couple different points is that the SEC has been going about it all wrong, and then to your point, which would be the Supreme Court would have to rule on it, and they'd have to take up the Howey test.
Well, I know he'll say, it's case law, because but they're not referencing any legislation, though. That's my point, is like, it came out, the framework came out of a case where, when you have case law, it's based on opinion. Well, and so versus so-and-so, this is what was decided, and that becomes that becomes the when they call it case law, and that's what you can refer back to. But they came up with this framework in a case. There's nothing that, I mean, you could say the Securities Act of 33, 34, but it's a little bit loose. By the way, did you know? Here's a little trivia question. Do you know who the dissenting Supreme Court justice was?
1946.
Yeah. Do you know who it was?
I don't remember.
Well, let me put it up here for you. Let me toss it up there. Right there. Justice Frankenfurter. There it is. That's who it was. It was Justin. So Mr. Justice Frankenfurter dissented.
His name was Frankfurter?
Frankenfurter, yeah. Mr. Justice Jackson took no part in the consideration or decision of the case. You had Justice Frankenfurter dissented. He said an investment contract is not a term of art. It's a conception dependent upon the circumstances of a particular situation. This case came to us on a finding and authorized by Congress that the facts disclosed as an investment contract within the general scope of Section 2(1) of the Securities Act. So I think that's what they're referencing, but that's not the case before us. Hence, the assertment of the existence of the investment contract had to be made independently by the district court. So this is some of it. Some of the investors visited their particular plots annually, making suggestions to care and cultivation, but without any legal rights. So it's interesting here because what they're basically saying is that it wasn't everybody that said, go ahead and work the land and make the money. The guy invented the hot dogs.
That's right, Frankfurter.
Frankfurter, not Frankenfurter. That was from Rocky Horror Picture Show, I believe. But so you have some investors, and this is what he's basically saying is some investors actually went to the land and they did themselves. That's why he was like, well, how are you rolling everything up to one? And again, what John Deaton always makes the point, it's the scheme, right? It was the packaging. It's not the oranges themselves that were the security. It was the way they put it together. Hey, you'll make money. We'll take care of the oranges. We'll plant the trees on the orange trees, not to confuse with lemon trees, on the plot of land. We'll go ahead and pick them. We'll go ahead and make the money. We'll send you a check. Okay, that was based on the efforts of others, and that's what they're talking about. What's Rye Guy saying?
That's right. So Rye Guy saying, unfortunately, the XRP orders are so clumsy. We all lost our ledgers in boating accidents.
Oh, yikes. So in the video,
that'll be the story anyways.
John Barry answered a question from the renowned litigator Sean Prosser. Sean said, hey, if Ripple could have any defenses, should the SEC apply the Howey test? And the response was, he said, the SEC, I think, is getting more aggressive. XRP as a token is a lot similar to Ether, which is then similar to BTC or Bitcoin. Additionally, remarked that SEC has never brought a case against Ether. Ooh, burn. And despite its similarity with XRP, or despite the fact that they did a raise, they basically, Ethereum Foundation, Ethereum would have ceased to exist, Jeff, if it wasn't for the raise they did.
Well, they even said that Ethereum would have been a security in the early stages, and then they say that it isn't now. But how can you, it's kind of, it really is crazy. And I think this is what's coming out right now. This is what we're seeing unfold, within this whole SEC v. Ripple case. And when the judge is listening to the SEC's attorneys trying to, prove their case by explaining their way out of this, just they're tripping over themselves, through complete incompetence, and it's just, hopefully it's complete incompetence and they're not, just trying to drag this case out as long as they possibly can drag it out. But I'm always going to reference back, though, Gary Gensler brought up only one good point in everything that he said. And this is when he was in front of Congress. And he said that if they really want to have regulatory clarity on this, pass some legislation through Congress. And he knows in the absence, right? And that's it. Yeah. And in the absence of that legislation, Gary Gensler is claiming that he has jurisdiction. But now we're seeing this fight between the CFTC and the SEC. And thank God that, there's previous chairs and commissioners from the SEC that are standing up. And, now obviously we see a bunch of, previous SEC employees working on the Ripple case for Ripple.
When you were making a point right there, you had the pen. So I was looking for a pen. I wanted to make a point too. Oh. You're like, hey, you're like, listen, man, and you're doing all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You're like with a pen. I was like,
my notes.
Like the thumbnail, I was getting scolded. Like Gary Gensler was getting scolded in the thumbnail,
Yeah.
like with the finger pointing, like, "Hey, settle down." With the
She's
Ethereum and
protecting her
Bitcoin
commodities.
on the
Yeah, that's
shoulder,
right.
on the old shoulder. So yeah, it's this whole thing with the SEC and everything they're doing. I mean, the funny thing about said another way, the way Gensler really said that he should have here's how I heard what he said. We will interpret anything we want until you actually spend some time passing legislation which clearly defines what it is. But it is sort of it doesn't really make sense. So in one sense, on one hand, he's saying this, on the other hand, he's saying something completely different. He's saying he's open to interpretation, so he'll basically interpret it as the pillars of enforcement. That's
He
how
loves
he's
his pillars of enforcement. He does love it. So, John, this is interesting because Hester Peirce's office, we did want to invite her on, and we reached out. We had some discourse, and then we couldn't get them on to talk about
let's talk about
crypto and
why.
XRP.
Let's talk about why, Jeff. Let's talk about the lame excuse they
Anyone
gave
curious?
us.
All right, so
Tony's had Hester Peirce on 3 times. They said our channel was too focused on XRP,
and therefore,
I'm
they
sorry,
couldn't come on.
She won't be able to come on. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Tony talks about XRP. He talks about Bitcoin. Well, so do we. We don't always. I mean, yeah, but I mean, yeah. I guess if you look at every one of our thumbnails,
Maybe
I'm sure
it would have,
but
could
it doesn't
have
matter.
Maybe it wasn't a good show for her.
It's not a good show. Yeah, it's not a good show, and but that's fine. I mean,
well, no, the show would have been great, but the
he doesn't want to come on. So I mean,
it would have looked bad. It would have looked bad.
So I love the way if they get into this a little bit more, Jeff, as they say on this. They said, the statement by John Barry, similar to Bill Hinman's statement that was made in 2018 about Ethereum. That's that ongoing fight they're having right now about getting access to those emails. And come hell or high water, they're not going to turn them over. That's not happening. And they're just not going to turn it over. They pretty much, I mean, if they haven't already, what's going to make them? And you probably can't even get it through a freedom of information. But the best part of that was because remember they first argued it was his personal opinion, and then they said, well, there was some tie back to the SEC, but they're like, and then the judge is like, well, if it's a personal opinion, why are you then it's not protected. So what are you trying to protect? So they want to have their cake and eat it too. No, it's a personal opinion, but it's also SEC guidance, but it's not real guidance, but it's just sort of guidance.
Yep. I just want to say, say to Jim D, keep the faith, because you'll be surprised at what's coming. So, but just
a new
keep
day.
The faith.
Yeah. So the
SEC,
new
day is coming.
A new day is coming, Jeff. The SEC, on the other hand, has employed various tactics to conceal the drafts and other documents related to Hinman's statement from Ripple and the presiding court. Yeah, no kidding, Jeff. Just no kidding. That's what they've done.
Sophie's saying can't afford much except Mad Dog 2020.
MD.
Remember Mad Dog 2020?
MD.
Mad Dog 2020, and it would tell you in fine print, this is not a wine cooler.
So Jeff, look at this. Is that true? XRP Panic saying your favorite is lemons.
All right. So favorite foods. So Chip, if you were to think like my, go-to, like traveling anywhere in the world,
I know what it is.
What would my go-to favorite food be?
It's the same as mine, sushi.
Sushi is one of them. Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Sushi.
Hang on a second.
However,
the go-to is a steak.
All right. For you?
No, for you.
No, for me.
Actually, that's what you always eat.
My go-to food when I'm traveling is always, it's always going to be Middle Eastern food.
Really? This is new, Jeff.
Falafel, kebab, or hummus, no matter what part of the world I'm in. That's like my go-to.
Really? It's always going to be sushi for me.
Or sushi, but then there's some parts of the world that you don't want to eat sushi in, and then
that's true. I mean, but I'm like,
and then if you can't find a kebab place, then you got to go to like I'll go to an Irish pub.
Fish and chips is always another good one. Yeah, any kind of pub grub. Easy. Pub grub is always a good thing.
I've been in France. I've been to an Irish pub. India, South Korea, Ireland, obviously. France. Did I say France?
Wait, so
Germany.
See, Panic knows my go-to right there. It's called whiskey. Damn right it is.
Oh, whiskey.
I was
Dubai.
gonna say
Dubai has a
whiskey, but
really good
that's-
Irish pub also.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's whiskey. There's no doubt about that. And
Jameson.
once in a while, beer.
Go-to drink, Jameson.
A
do you
bullet for
think?
me.
Bullet?
It's okay. It's just it's a little. I'm not a big Jameson fan. Like I like Jameson and ginger. Like when if I'm in Ireland, I'll have Jameson and ginger. Like, and it's a much better drink. You get Jameson and ginger stateside, and it's horrible. You get a real Jameson and ginger. That's the way I like to drink it. That's
I can't mix it with anything. Just Jameson, maybe one ice cube, or just neat. Jameson
Lagavulin's the other one. If you want to go with Scotch,
that's a good one.
So
oh yeah, that's
a
nice
Lagavulin, like a 16. That's always a good thing. But
or how about a Glenmorangie Signet?
They're all good, man. I've had them all. They're all good. I mean, they're just phenomenal. How about Whataburger? That's for Darren right there. Darren likes the Whataburger.
Oh yeah, fruity. Yes.
Have I had a New York sour? I don't believe I have had a New York sour, but I've been pretty sour in New York for a long time. I can say that.
Man, I don't know. I can't mix stuff. I don't like mixing anything in alcohol.
I like to make an old fashioned with some bourbon. Every once in a while, I'll make an old fashioned. I got a bunch of different bitters that I'll throw in there. You know, I like that, and some.
As long as it's not too sweet.
I don't like it too sweet either. And look, we have Van Life says, seen more apples than I've seen in my life up in Washington State. There you go. Van Life is on the road, and he's in his van that he built. He has a whole YouTube channel on it. So go follow Van Life Biker, and also he gives you a glimpse into what he does. And it looks scary to me, Jeff. Like you were telling me that you were a little bit terrified of changing a plug in the wall, and I'm like, I do that. I hook a basic electric, not the stuff Van does. Van does real stuff. Doug says, "Love me some whiskey." Hear you that,
man? Yeah, you gotta love it.
Don Julio tequila, that's very good. He likes, and of course you got Ferdy in here. Ferdy saying you've been to the Netherlands, Jeff. That's right. So have I, several times.
Oh yeah, I have been.
I love the.
I actually met Ferdy in the Netherlands.
You actually met him in person. How about that? Right? How cool is
great.
that?
Went to coffee.
It's like the Tito's
really
and vodka. That's a good one too. Jameson and equals car bombs. Yeah, Jameson car bombs are good. Toss that in a Guinness. You already have one of those car bombs?
I have. That's pretty good. You ever done a sake bomb?
I've never
Instead of doing Jameson, do sake and Guinness.
Catherine's finally here. We can start the show. All right, let's go to another story now that Catherine's here. So.
Oh yeah, we just been kind of taking up
happens
time.
Once in a while. Yeah, sometimes we're like real straight news.
Just filling in while we're waiting for Catherine to show up.
I want to hear the negative comments. So like nobody cares what kind of food you like. Nobody's here to hear the food. They want to hear the news. Let's jump into it. Ripple Chief Tech Officer David Schwartz takes a dig at Stellar Lumens to show that XRP is bigger than XLM. And this is one of the things that I love about David Schwartz, who also won't come on the show. Just saying.
Brandon tuning in for the first time, normally watches us in the mornings, popped in to say what's up.
All right, man. That's very cool. Good to see you on the live one, and we can talk about that. Very, very good. So this is what he has. Like his sense of humor is just outstanding. And like, look at this, pretty fly for a white guy t-shirt he's wearing. There it is right there. So he recently did an unusual. He sent a message to the Stellar Lumens camp to show the digital token XRP is bigger than XLM. Schwartz, who's the founding of the XRP ledger, reacted to a post on Twitter where the image of Connecticut's XRP bullet point XLM license plate was captioned. And that's dude, how cool is that though, just in itself for a license plate?
That would be great. What a great idea.
There right? You put your two, you can separate it with a bullet point. Now, I've never known you could use a bullet point in a license. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Completely unaware of that, Jeff.
Let's look it up and see if it's legit.
Somebody said, it's legit because they show it. So it was what Ripple CTO's attention. Yep, where the dot was called XRP and an XL. So this is it. So this is it right here. This is Lee Sands, and let's open up the tweet here so we can get a little bit better look at it here.
No kidding.
There it is right
there.
there.
Oh, that is legit. Oh, that's
so there
Lee's.
it is.
Oh,
there's the Connecticut XRP.
Look at that with a dot. Look at that, a bullet point. I had no idea you could do that.
I had no idea either. It gives me a lot of ideas. You could put.
So, in theory, could you do all bullet points?
Jeff, you could put your two favorite. You could put BTC bullet point.
That's what I'm gonna do. ETH
and ETH.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going to just say
Gensler's.
BTC Maxi. BTC Maxi.
I think that's what's
That's going
on
to be my play.
Gensler's. Gary Gensler might have that. So here it is right here. So he says, what do you guys think of my new plate? Just to show off my love for my two favorite assets. Of course, he tagged a bunch
That's
of different
awesome.
people in there. It is really cool, right?
Look at that. That's really cool.
It's a very cool thing, man. I mean, it's like, you know,
A really cool plate.
And then let's go to David Schwartz.
Oh, did you see what the comment was? He accidentally put the instead of the greater than.
Yeah, so the greater than symbol. So he said instead of putting a bullet.
David Schwartz said that.
Yeah, David Schwartz said they accidentally put a bullet instead of a greater than symbol. So he was basically saying that, you know, XRP is greater than.
How crazy is that? Imagine you could do a greater than symbol. That would be
even better. Well, then you would have the XRP army putting XRP is greater than Bitcoin, and then you could have all kinds of crazy stuff that they would put in there.
It'd be awesome.
But that's what I love about Schwartz. He's funny as hell. But in this case, this was an older tweet too. This is something that kind of got past us, but it popped in today.
So Doug is saying some states have bullets, some don't. Like Cali has all 7 spaces used for numbers and letters and symbols.
This plate I love just because it's
crazy.
It looks incredible. I mean, just with the bullet point in there. I didn't know you could do it. Well, that's Connecticut, Jeff. Not a lot of people live in Connecticut.
Perfect.
I mean, there's a few people that live in Connecticut.
Everyone go check out the Van Life Biker Show.
Yeah, check out the Van Life guys. Go subscribe to Van. Give him some love. He's been, I think he was probably one of the first 100 viewers of the OTC, if maybe the first 50. He's an OG. He's funny, and you should definitely check it out. So here's another tweet I wanted to showcase up here. Michael Branch put this a tweet out. He said the current ODL volume is underrated since such increase is exponential. We know Ripple had an average of $23 million per day in ODL related sales last quarter, Q2 2021 to Q2 2022. And it went from 158 million to 2.1 billion. And that's more than 10x in 1 year.
That's a big number.
It's pretty sizable, right? I mean, it's like a pretty sizable number. And everyone's like, nobody uses XRP. Nobody uses Ripple's software. And then our pal JV the Great, and he tagged in over here, he tagged in Anders, who's at X under Anderson, who's also a big crypto dude. He said, Anders, be careful talking about price appreciation. Gare Bear may send his SEC henchman after you. The Gare Bear.
The Gare Bear. Yeah, could you imagine? I mean, this goes back to this whole notion of the SEC and Gary Gensler using their pillars of enforcement. Well, so it's funny to talk about it and reference it, but it's true. That's exactly what could potentially happen. But come November and January, that won't be a thing anymore.
No, I mean, especially we get into January, February. So Anders came in and said, yeah, but I don't think I mentioned any price, only liquidity. The price speculation was from the clickbait blog. So it wasn't he that had said it. And I think that Michael Branch was referring to because it's probably a deeper tweet. So it just goes and goes and goes. Yeah. So this is what it was.
Yeah, and there's a whole.
You have to catch up with.
And there's a lot going on in the background, that we don't see. But even at that 10x, that's still a very small number, all things considered.
That's also a show.
We want to go from billion to trillion.
PBS, billion and trillion.
Scary Gary.
You want to see if if you said something, let's suppose, just this picture right here. Let's suppose you said something. Or like Gary Gensler said something, you would get this, right? You get the side eye from John Deaton right there. You'd be like, say that again, and I bust your fingers. Every finger in your nose.
Look at John with the suit on. He's looking pretty spiffy.
Looking great, man. That's what a teacher used to say to us back in my day, Jeff. Teachers would threaten you. Sometimes they threw chairs at you. And it was all cool. Nobody cared about it. Nobody reported it. Sometimes, you hit a teacher, and sometimes they punch you in the mouth. Right. It happened in my school. I went to Catholic high school. It happened, Jeff.
You're better off for it.
Yeah, and then I remember one time it was hat day. I don't even. I can't even say this, but I can't even say it. But no, it's not. I was gonna do something, but I'm like, no. But somebody has smart aleck comment, and the teacher didn't hold back. Came back with just like one of these epic mic drop type of things. But you get the side eye, like, say it again, and I'll break every finger in your nose. And teacher used to say that to me often. I didn't really have many fingers in my nose. So my fingers never got broken, which was a good thing. But this article right here, this is XRP v. SEC. John Deaton makes another argument for SEC's incompetence. He's made hundreds of arguments, and they're all amazing.
Well, and they prove themselves that they're completely incompetent over and over and over again. So the
tweet that Deaton put out, he said, there's a bank in Japan that's offering Bitcoin and XRP rewards to their customers. Why would a bank equate Bitcoin and XRP like that? Doesn't this bank know about the SEC and its claims against XRP? Oh, wait. Everyone knows the SEC is violating 76 years of precedent. And that's really what case law gives you. It gives you that precedent. And a rewards program, which began a few days ago, will run through October. It involves rewarding Shinsei Bank customers for using its banking products and making transactions. That way, users will be able to earn yen, which they can then redeem for XRP or Bitcoin. Deaton, in turn, went on a sarcastic tirade, which I love, saying that Shinsei Bank should be charged with illegal activities under the SEC's selective enforcement. But they wouldn't be, because obviously they're smarter. And I mean, the fact that what are you smiling at, Jeff? Something's going on.
I'm just reading these the comments over here. Deaton 316. I don't know if that's the time of the video, but it seems more like we're quoting scripture.
There's John 3:16. There you go, right there. So there it is, Jim D. The Irish Catholic nuns used to box my ears, saying, "You're a bold boy, Jim D."
I look at the one here from K HUD. Teacher put his head in a lift-up desk and pushed it over him. Lift-up desk. Man, just imagine. And imagine we all survived this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was legendary. I mean, there was some chairs and tables thrown, and it was great. Everyone just like, all right, let's go back. And then the class resumed, and everything was on. Now you got to get like attorneys involved and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a little bit too crazy. We don't have to go.
That's way too much.
I think it's
Alchemist, the pillars of enforcement, like the pillars of Hercules.
Hercules knocked him right down, though. Didn't he? He's like. Every once in a while, you comes a story, and like, this isn't something we normally would get into, but I'm just having a tough time with the headline, Jeff. I read this headline and said, this is something we should probably talk about. Look at this headline. Go ahead and read that, Jeff, please, for me.
What do we got here? Avalanche, Ripple, and Puglet, are three cryptocurrencies with fast financial transactions. So,
Avalanche.
First of all. Right.
Ripple, got it. What's that other one we were talking about?
I don't know what the other one is, but what is Ripple?
Puglet, Inu?
What is Ripple? Are we in 2017 or are we in 2022? Like what?
Avalanche, XRP.
What year are we in at this point?
You notice they correctly identified Puglet.
Ripple. And what the heck is Puglet Inu? Is that a new one?
It's another meme coin apparently, but like, and then kind of like think like, okay, let's compare. Well, there's Shiba, there's Puglet, there's too many Inus now. And of course there's Ripple, Avalanche. They can't get it right. So let's
not get it right. But it's good. Fast financial transactions. I mean, there really should be a whole, we're starting to see a departure in the space. I won't say a departure, but we're starting to see some segments that are really growing up. And it's going to be interesting because there are certain assets that are perfect for rapid payment, that are efficient and inexpensive, and there's others that just aren't going to be, like Bitcoin.
Yeah, and the thing about these articles like this, you can't tell if it's like one of these pay for play articles where you write a catchy headline, let's get the XRP crowd, let's get the Avalanche crowd, and Puglet in. So here it is right here. This is the website. Receive 57 days, 23 hours, and how many minutes? So receive 50% extra tokens if you deposit within 30 minutes of signing up. Nothing weird there. That seems normal.
Nothing to see here.
before the rug pull. You know, and we're just goofing on this project because we really don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it might be great. It might be perfect.
Yeah, it might be
but you're
great.
right. I mean, as soon as you start reading it, receive 50% extra tokens if you deposit. Where are you depositing them?
I don't really understand it, but it says Puglet Inu is not just another meme token, Jeff. Its platform meets the need for exchange security and comparatively lower transaction fees.
Well, if it
as if there's not a use case out there for that already. It'd
be funny if this would be like the next big thing.
The utility and they put it right in there. They're not even messing around. They're trying to ward off the SEC. Buy the utility token PUGT, and its experiences extensive use. And the decentralized, put decentralized in their secure, environmentally sustainable financial system.
What that means?
I don't know. Sounds like that could have taken right off the Ripple site. And it helps you achieve its goal. Your journey into the lit community begins when you purchase. That's Jeff. We got to go on that journey. We just have to purchase.
I just looked up on CoinGecko. It doesn't exist.
Well, that's what the 57 days. I think it's coming pre-sale. See, there's a pre-sale going on, Jeff.
Oh, we couldn't even buy it in the U.S. anyways. You can't buy pre-sale. How would you get it? Is for
I don't know.
Freddie said that Puglet Inu is the new ETH and XRP killer. Are you moving that dog around, or is it moving itself? What in the world is going on here? So whole litter of
yeah, if you just like click and hold on it, makes this other little instance of it, which is fun. So there it is right there. You can register.
So how do you get it? You can buy with your credit card? Where do they?
You can buy $500, $1,000, or $2,500. There it is. You create your account.
Oh.
Apparently, let's see. Can you buy it with XRP? Yeah, I don't know. Can you? Can you, Jeff?
I don't know.
Nuggets.
You buy with Bitcoin?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Well, there you go.
Can you buy with Bitcoin? Yes, you can. It sounded to me like a Tribe. Remember that song, Kick It? Can I kick it? Yes, I can. By the way, I just did I listened to so much Tribe Called Quest on this last.
Oh man, Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. Well, can you kick it? Yes, I can.
Yep.
Can you buy with BTC? Yes, you can.
Heard that in a long time.
You can use Digibyte. Now, this is crazy, Jeff. Digibyte, you can actually use Nano, Doge.
What if I want to use Shiba Inu?
Right there.
The SHIB is in there? Nice.
The SHIB is in there. You can use sand, all this kind of stuff. But anyway,
how about Dogecoin? Doge?
I don't think Doge is in there.
Oh.
Is it? Yeah, Doge is in there.
Freddie wants to know if you can buy with Ripple.
Maybe I should search for Ripple. Maybe that's the problem. I wasn't using the proper terminology there. So there it is. That's it right there. So the uprising gave a lot of users and traders a chance to expand and diversify their portfolios by experimenting with different coins. Here are the three assets that brought in new concepts and upgrades to upstage Bitcoin, called Avalanche, AVAX, Ripple, XRP, and Puglet Inu, PUGT.
The fact that it's just so funny. The fact that they put that in there with Avalanche and with XRP, but the article what is
it's not even I saw this and I'm like, it's the weirdest thing ever. Probably, Jeff. This gives a lot of credence right here. It's like probably the new rising star in the crypto space. Puglet is a coin set to launch in a new era of meme coins, because we haven't heard that before, Jeff.
No. Well, the previous era was really bad, so I'm looking forward to the new era of meme coins.
They're bringing all the utility that XRP already currently has. So it's like, that's interesting. Puglet was introduced with the desire to deal with poor customer service, high transaction fees, unreliable security, and network statistics. Coin based on the portmanteau of Puggle and a piglet is based on the Piglet Inu meme. The best. I don't even know what this is anymore, Jeff. We've gone down a rabbit hole.
Hey,
Alchemist, it was just the headline.
What do you think about it? Are you into meme coins? What do you think about the Puglet? That wasn't even a pug. It was like a French bull terrier or something. The French, whatever those are, those little, because it had big ears. Pugs don't have big ears.
I don't know. It was said it was based on the two things, but does anybody even care? So this was another catchy one. The street.
Good morning from New Zealand.
Good morning. Buenos
we had Australia in here earlier too.
Yeah, it is a
people
good
from
morning.
all over the world tuning in, which is great.
Yeah, if we have
Alex
people
has
watching
got a
us in the future.
new coin. If it's gonna have a coin, it's gonna be a toilet seat coin that you can dump on it. Nice. There you go. Get a toilet.
So
The
here we
toilet
go.
bowl. TB.
This, Jeff, are you familiar with the publication The Street? TheStreet.com. They basically, it's all about
I know the streets. You know
investing.
the
Yeah,
streets, the rap group over in England.
I know that one too. So we have this one here, and look at this headline here. Crypto evangelist Mark Cuban is in trouble. And you're probably thinking, well, how is he in trouble? The billionaire and
Oh, he's
crypto
in trouble.
investor was in business with Voyager Digital, which went bankrupt in early July. Mark Cuban should have expected it since crypto lender Voyager Digital filed for Chapter 11. Going bankrupt and filing Chapter 11, which is a reorganization, is not the same as going bankrupt means you're out of business. That's not the case. They filed Chapter 11, doing restructuring and trying to figure out how to stay
Chapter 11 is a restructure, so that could be a good thing.
It could be, but look at how I love how they're saying this. Mark Cuban should have expected it.
Should have expected that they were going bankrupt. I mean,
and he's gotten a lot of criticism. Billionaire and owner of the NBA Dallas Mavericks team has been raining down on social media.
So where's this article?
It's in The Street. This is why it's so crazy.
Is in the street.
It seems like someone's personal
legit?
blog that hates.
Right.
It's on The Street. That's what I'm
They're not
saying.
a
It's a
big fan
legit
of,
publication.
Mark Cuban.
These critics accuse him of promoting the platform and thereby hold him responsible for the losses they say they suffered, we wrote on July 8th. The reproach is now a result in a class action lawsuit against the successful entrepreneur. Wow. So he's given his opinion, and now they're suing him. The angry individual investors claim that Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks tricked them into investing. Tricked them, Jeff. I mean, really? Which went bankrupt and cost them some $5 billion in total, according to the complaint. Complaints based on another complaint filed in already December against Voyager Digital. The deceptive Voyager platform was unregulated and unsustainable fraud, similar to other Ponzi schemes, claim the plaintiffs. Specifically, it is alleged in detail that the complaint now how defendants, the Mark Cuban and Stephen Urich, were key players who personally reached out to investors individually and through the Dallas Mavericks to induce them to invest. Something seems wrong here, Jeff. Does that seem pliable?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they were doing with Voyager, but didn't I know Mark Cuban was doing rolling out NFTs.
Yeah.
And they were, giving NFTs away at the games and doing all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, and also
I don't know what his affiliation. I'm not sure what his affiliation with Voyager was.
But did Mark Cuban and Stephen Ehrlich have time to personally reach out to investors to talk about this? I mean, it's a little bit weird. Maybe they did. Ehrlich is Voyager Digital's chief executive officer. $5 billion in losses is like, okay, well, yeah, hold my beer for XRP here. Cuban and Ehrlich will as well explain what the great lengths user experience as investors to dupe millions of Americans into investing.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, look at all the different things that are going on, but is that legit? I don't know. That he was that involved? Or they're just thinking, I mean, maybe that Ehrlich was the CEO, so I mean, he had a better pulse on what was going on with Voyager. But look what's going on with Celsius right now, and we're probably going to see other platforms that are going to go through some troubled times. It's not easy. Everybody's a hero when the market was good. As soon as the market's gone through this bear cycle, and then the entire economy going through this inflation period, and things are kind of getting a little chaotic out there. Obviously, some of these companies it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them.
Well,
and so we're seeing the outcome of it, just like in the .com era. The companies, how long can you go without, generating revenue, or if you're not doing things 100%, there's.
Yeah, Ferdy has I think he's landing a solid point here, Jeff. He's saying Cuban should invest in solid projects like Puglet Inu. That's a good one, Ferdy.
I think our next show will be strictly on
Puglet Inu. And then we'll be accused of telling people never listen to anything we say or any other YouTuber or anybody, by the way. Don't even somebody, just listen to do your own research.
Especially if it has a dancing bear or a cute dog.
Which is sometimes maybe that's why some people invested in XRP. I'm not saying everybody, but some people did.
The
Jeff.
dancing bears were awesome.
Organic FUD says XRP is a fundraising mechanism for Ripple, the company. 100% of Ripple, the company, was built on the sales of XRP. Yeah, well, that's not exactly true, but they have $300 million in. Oh, here we go. Rye Guy breaking. Puglet Inu is the new world currency. Jeff, did you know that?
I'm looking forward to it. I think I think the IMF has adopted it. And I think they were all in a meeting, and Janet Yellen referenced it when she said that there was when they redefined recession. The reason why they redefined recession is because they're rolling out the Piglet is going to be part of our new digital currency here in the U.S.
Digital currency, did you say?
The digital currency, the Puglet.
You know what? Ripple changed we used to go to a 404 page, and they absolutely changed it. It used to be the bear on the 404. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's go to a new page here. Let's open up a brand new page and look at this. If I tell you ripple.com/bear/bear, look at that. They changed it to this one.
Nice, 404.
But it used to be the bear. It used to be the dancing bear. And the reason I'm saying that, so anyway, the reason I had brought that up because someone had alluded to Jerry Garcia. That was, very easy hydroponics. Alan said Jerry Garcia liked them bouncing bears. And that's what there used to be one. And of course, there's that song Ripple by the Grateful Dead, which Jerry Garcia was one of the members of, singers, until he passed away. He was.
A lot of good stuff. Still can't find anything on Puglet. Do you know XRP is 38 cents? Look at that.
I don't even look at the price anymore. Someone will let me know if something happens.
Shiba Inu is crushing it. Holy cow.
It's had a little bit of a lift.
It's had a big lift. It's back to 1.7. It was at 1.3 the other day. It's up 34%. 34%.
That's shocking. Maybe that's why everyone's going on. Maybe that's probably why people are running towards Puglet Inu, Jeff.
When $1. It's insane. You got to see this. This is insane. You've got to see this trend. Look at this trend. So look at this chaos. Look at this.
It's what we'd like to see.
Shiba is still up 110% for the year. Past 30 days, 57%.
Interesting.
41%, but in the last 24 hours, it went up 34%. In the past 24 hours, what's going on? Look at this.
I don't know.
What is going on with the SHIB?
Somebody
look at the max. Oh, look at that point right there. That was an exciting time when it was at 8. I was liking SHIB at that point. I liked it down here.
So it looks like, Jeff, somebody has made history. A political candidate has made history. And what does that look like? It looks like this. Welcome to the first NFT political campaign fundraiser in the U.S. Now, this is in the U.S. This probably happened when NFTs came out years ago in any other country, because they're a lot smarter than this country. And they're probably like, yeah, great, we did that like 3 years ago. But I'm talking about the U.S.
You know, it's a really cool idea. I like it. You get an NFT.
You can buy this NFT right here. So it's January Walker that she's running in Utah. You can get a yard sign NFT and real life benefits, stickers, pop socket, a yard sign, donation, nice. $50.
Nice.
And there's this one here, which is the investor one. You get this old,
a pin button NFT.
Yeah. Pin button NFT, and you get the same thing. Pin button, you get a sticker, pop socket, and a yard sign for $250.
I want a signed autograph.
So she's obviously running in the different party. So it says her slogan here is,
scroll down.
We can't keep electing the same parties and expecting different results.
That's right.
For $1,000, you actually get a yard sign, Jeff, to put on your property.
I want the autograph picture. Look at that. And get an exclusive event. I want a VIP.
What's
so you got to go to the next event? I don't know.
Then there's a visionary for $2,800.
Ooh,
it's right under that limit. You have an election party. I'm guessing you're invited to the election party. You don't have your own election party, but an event access, auto
We're gonna
draft,
throw you
pick,
one.
shirt button, pop socket. There it is. And so there it is. You can go ahead and touch how much ADA you need for that.
Yeah.
Let's see, let's flip over here. I don't know how you do that. Oh, there it is. There's your information, your state. And then if you look here, there she is. And your best in class politics begins with January.
Yeah,
running
she's
Utah's
big
fourth
she's
district.
big into crypto. I read all about her platform, and
Yeah,
yes,
there it is.
she's
Financial.
talking about sustainability and clean air for the Utah people.
I can get on board with that.
Part-time work, term limits. What does that say? Enough. That's it. Enough said. Fiscal responsibility, education reform and affordability. That's called have the universities decrease their cost.
That's what it is.
And reasonable healthcare pricing. It's called cash-based medicine. What else?
I think that's pretty much it.
What's her platform on crypto though? That's she's rolling out these NFTs.
Yeah, and it's weird because she doesn't really mention it there. High-paying part-time work. You'll get $100 for every half hour you work, Jeff. Sounds like a deal to me. But that's it. Anyway, she made history. That's cool. Got to give her a lot of kudos for that. But she's running against Burgess, who's an incumbent, and again, probably not.
What is she running for? Congress?
Congress and Utah's 4th district.
Nice.
Right here, Utah 4.
Good for her.
Yep. That's what it is.
All right. That's what it is. Mark's saying that there's another Inu. Shepherd Inu is up 84%. People are loving the Inus.
It went 0.00000009 to 0.00000001. And I thought this one was pretty.
The Shibu lottery. Hey, there's a conversation going back and forth. So Organic FUD was talking about the rails, that there aren't really rails, and Jim D said he doesn't think that's correct. Rails are more than a metaphoric concept. Paying higher transaction fee, providing liquidity, loops the rails. So but there are actual payment rails. That's how money flows. Transaction. It's like rail cars.
Catherine doesn't understand why Gen Z loves the meme coins. You want to shed any light on that?
Cool. Because they're, cute and fluffy.
Sounds good to me, Jeff.
Somebody else was saying, where was it? I mean, we can get into it. It'd be good to get back into, on the next show, we'll get a little more into the actual RippleNet software solutions and some others, and the reason why moving money is so critical. Why that's really revolutionizing and changing the world with the XRPL. Why all the crypto assets are blossoming right now, but Rye Guy really singled it out here, succinctly as to all these meme coins, because people want to get rich without doing any work, they are rich quick, and so that's what everybody's looking at. They think it's going to be the next big thing, and some of them did, blow up, pretty quick.
Well, Savvy Granny said she taught her grandkids about crypto and asked them which coin they wanted. Answer: Shiba Inu. Kids love meme coins, and I get that. You know what? Listen, I mean, that's why anime, that's why comic books are so big. It's all about the image. It's all about it's something fun. It's like, who wants to wear a big Bitcoin logo on their shirt? I mean, it's like, Bitcoin, yay.
But it is cool. I like it.
There's nothing wrong with it, Jeff. I mean, no seriousness.
For kids, they get excited as long as they're not rug pulls. Like, Shiba Inu, they've been building a whole, platform around what they're doing.
Have they been?
Yeah.
It's good to know. Well, I would just say this, Jeff. Look, if you're still here, go ahead and click that like, subscribe. I mean, a lot of times people watch the entire show and they never hit the like button, even though they claim to like it, but they sometimes don't. So it's something good to do. You click that like, hit that subscribe button. It's all good. It's all really good.
As soon as I log in, that's the first thing I do is hit the like button.
We appreciate you guys watching us. We do appreciate your support. Absolutely. And if there's anything else, I think that's pretty much it, Jeff. Let's get out of here.
There it is. I was looking up the Shiba token.
That's pretty much it, Jeff. Let's get out of here.
That's it. That's what we're going to leave with.
Decentralized. There's too many Inu, Winus.
Anyhow, Anyhow, this was great, Chip. It was good to see you back on, and big shout out to everybody that is here with us, because we have the best and the brightest in all of crypto YouTube space. You guys are outstanding. We had a lot of fun tonight. We talked about a lot of things other than digital asset. We even talked about food for a little bit, so that was really cool. But we'll look forward to seeing you all back on with us on the next one.
So, guys, have yourselves a great week. It's bound to be some interesting things happen this week. It always does. And that's all we have. So we will see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff.
Ow.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.